Much like Agent 47, the star of the long-running Hitman franchise, IO Interactive is full of surprises. After successfully rebooting the franchise in 2016, the studio went on to release two more well-received sequels, both with a major company and as an independent publisher. Not content with overwhelmingly positive reviews and a legion of new fans, IO surprised everybody by rebranding the 2021 game Hitman 3 as the much more inclusive Hitman: World of Assassination, transforming the sequel into a hub full of content and levels from the first two games. And just to keep us on our toes, IO Interactive had one more big surprise up its sleeve in the form of a new mode called Freelancer, a roguelike experience that shakes up the way you play Hitman in some truly interesting ways. That's a cool addition, but will this mode be enticing enough to bring longtime fans back to this 2-year-old game? And for those who've been sitting on the fence, will the addition of Hitman 1 and 2 content be what it takes to attract new fans? These questions and more will be answered when I review Hitman: World of Assassination. When it comes to Hitman, my experience is a bit limited. While I had seen many of the older games at various conventions throughout the years, my first time really playing the Hitman game was the 2016 reboot. Now let me tell you, it was love at first sight. With its large, overly detailed stages and non-linear missions, I was completely and hopelessly hooked on pretending to be Agent 47. But for as much as I loved that reboot, I somehow managed to sleep on both the 2018 and 2021 sequels. I mean, I always intended to play them, but somehow just never managed to work them into my busy schedule. As you can imagine, I was pretty damn excited when I got my hands on the newly rebranded Hitman: World of Assassination, as it not only gave me a chance to play through the two games that I slept on, but also came with the brand new Freelancer mode. I figured if there was ever a time for me to catch up, this was it. So I grabbed my passport and I set a course to the ultra-violent World of Assassination. Now, the first thing you need to know is that anybody who owns or buys Hitman 3 will see their game transform into Hitman: World of Assassination. This works as a catch-all hub for the trilogy, giving you access to all the levels and missions and challenges found in all three games. Even if you've never owned or played the first two Hitman games, you're going to get all the locations and stories for free. World of Assassination makes it so that you won't have to jump between the different games because they're all in one place. You'll even earn levels and unlockables that'll carry over from one game to the next. Without a doubt, this is the cheapest and the best way to own the entire Hitman trilogy. So, in some ways, this game is incredibly easy to describe. You play an extremely tall hitman named Agent 47, who's as bald as a cue ball and has a recognizable tattoo on the back of his neck. Somehow, this robotically stoic action star is able to blend in and sneak around, all while tracking down and eventually killing a series of marks. Once you've completed the job and make sure that nobody noticed, Agent 47 will track down one of the exits and then go on to the next destination, where he'll do the whole thing all over again. In other words, kill the target and scram before anybody notices. Of course, it's not going to be as simple as it sounds. In order to even get close to the target, you're going to need to change clothes and impersonate other people, which usually means knocking out a janitor or a security guard or a behind-the-scenes worker. This will give you access to new parts of the sprawling level, though you're still going to need to watch out for people who are able to see through your disguise. An average level will see our favorite hitman switching outfits 2 or 3 times, sometimes more, whatever it takes to get close enough to that mark to take them out. What's great about the Hitman series is the freedom that it gives you to kill these targets. This is a series that is built on the foundation of giving you control of how to execute each mission, and there are just a staggering amount of ways that each level can play out. You can get up close and personal by snapping their neck or stabbing them with a knife, or for those who want to be a little showier, you can go through the steps of impersonating a famous tattoo artist, or sabotage an especially powerful fan on the set of a movie to take out a boorish star. These are just a few of the dozen, if not hundreds of ways that you can tackle each mission. Now, if some of this feels a bit overwhelming, don't worry. The game makes experimenting extremely easy and fun. For starters, a lot of the more creative kills are tied to the optional stories that you can select at any time. These will have you fetching certain items and investigating clues, intel, and information regarding the weak points of the level. These stories almost always result in some sort of spectacular death, setting the level out on a real bang. Of course, you don't always have to follow the story. For those who simply want to experiment and test the open world waters, the game allows you to save at pretty much any time, which is great because it gives you a chance to undo any mistakes that you made along the way. I found the liberal save option freed me up to experiment more than I normally would, opening up the game in a lot of exciting new ways. The reason all this works so well is because of the stunning level designs. Even as somebody who sharpened their teeth on the Hitman reboot back in 2016, I was not prepared for how big and exquisitely detailed the locations would be. Take Miami from Hitman 2 as an example. This is an absolutely gigantic stage that takes place during an important race at a speedway. It's crowded with fans and has multiple buildings that are all connected to the race, including a VIP section, a huge backstage area, and even stands overlooking the action. And if that wasn't impressive enough, there's a separate technology building that is completely unrelated to the race that's going on. With so many areas to explore and both people and objects to interact with, I could feel like you could tackle this level in just an endless number of ways. And from a replay perspective, that's really exciting. Now what's even more exciting is that Miami only represents one kind of level. The 21 locations found in World of Assassination are all varied in fun and exciting ways. For example, you'll be stuck on a moving train in Romania, or exploring one of the world's tallest skyscrapers in Dubai, a level that requires you to hang onto tiny ledges and scale small pipes. In another stage, you'll be attending a masked party straight out of Eyes Wide Shut, or infiltrating a far-right militia group. And it's not always exotic locations either, as one of my favorite levels has you assassinating people in an American suburb. I love the juxtaposition between the people grilling in the backyards and just having a great time and the dark violence that's happening right next door. Every level is a real treat. Of course, none of this is news to Hitman fans. Me raving about the greatness of the Miami level is old news at this point, as it was originally featured in Hitman 2, which came out 5 years ago. Why bother reviewing a game that is at best 2 years old? The answer to that question can be summed up in 2 simple words: Freelancer mode. The reason that you're suddenly seeing more buzz around Hitman is because IO Interactive has recently updated the game with a brand new mode that completely shakes up the trilogy and gives longtime fans a reason to come back to the franchise. Freelancer mode essentially turns the trilogy into one big roguelike, where Agent 47 has to play through a bunch of levels with only one life to live. There are no checkpoints or save slots, so you have to go into every mission with the training wheels off and no safety net to catch you. If you die, you're dead and have to start the string of missions all over again from the start. But hold up, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because this is more than just a remixed version of the story mode. The idea is that you'll take contract missions where you have to go after a random target or targets in one of the familiar stages in the Hitman trilogy. We can go about this in countless different ways, but you'll earn extra points for completing the various challenges, which can include everything from killing a target with a specific item, to silently subduing a guard, to limiting the number of costumes that you wear. The mode is split up into 4 syndicates, which will have you working through 3 to 6 missions of increasing difficulty. We now have a headquarters where Agent 47 collects weapons and gadgets, allowing us to customize our loadout going into each mission. Now what makes this tricky and a little bit scary is that you can very easily lose your weapons and items if you fail the level. The good news is that you can buy new gear from suppliers while on a mission, but if you don't complete your task, the goods you buy will be lost forever. Yeah, as you can tell, the stakes are incredibly high. And because the stakes are so high, I would say that this is not a mode for beginners. You really do need to know the locations you're going into before you try to take out one of the targets with no saves or checkpoints. Freelancer mode is made specifically for those who've already completed Hitman 3, or at the very least played through most of the levels. This mode starts out hard and unforgiving, and only becomes more challenging the farther in you get. At the same time, I found these missions to be both satisfying and exhilarating. It felt like I was actually accomplishing something every time that I completed a mission and got back to HQ alive. At its best, this Freelancer mode gives longtime players a good reason to come back to the trilogy. By randomizing the targets and changing the way you deal with the weapons, this mode makes the already great game even more replayable. Best of all, it expertly shows off just how amazing the level designs have been throughout this entire series. The fact that I can go into the same stages multiple times and have completely different experiences is a testament to what makes the series so damn good. Hitman World of Assassination is one of those packages that has something for just about everybody. Longtime fans get a brand new mode that shakes up the game in some incredible ways, while new players get a staggering amount of must-play content and 21 of the best video game stages ever made. No matter if you've been sitting on the fence or know the Hitman trilogy inside and out, World of Assassination is a great collection that manages to make all three games even better. Agent 47 is back with a rebranded version of Hitman 3 in a brand new mode that turns the stealth action series into a roguelike. Hitman World of Assassination is a collection of all three games in the recent trilogy, complete with all the stories, extras, and more. Best of all, a new Freelancer mode shakes up the action, allowing you to play all 21 incredible locations with randomized targets. With so much content and some of the coolest kills in video game history, there has never been a better time than right now to get into Hitman. Hey, thanks for watching our review. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new reviews and features almost every day. Now, here's the question I have for you. What is your favorite stealth action game? Are you into Splinter Cell, or Thief, or Metal Gear, or maybe one of these Hitman games? Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back next week to see what Electronic Gaming Monthly thinks of a game, or a series, or something. I haven't decided yet. Also, expect more reviews, because that's what we do here. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.